Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about a search method called sequential search. This is one you're already familiar with. It's also known as, let's say, linear search, sequential search, search just by looping through an array, going one by one. So let's talk about it, and let's just talk about how good it is, how bad it is, how easy it is to code in. So you're going to see here I've used a sample array. This isn't the most attractive video here, but I think it'll get the point across. I have an array of numbers, 16 numbers in here, just random numbers, random order, and I'm going to try to do a search for the number 30. Now, like I said, you've already coded this one in before. With a sequential search, you basically just start at slot 0 and check what the value is. 38? Nope, not 30. Go on to the next one. Slot 1. 6? No, not 30. And you just keep going down and down and down, and eventually you say, yep, I found my number, it is in slot 8. Then you want to return the value 8. Usually when you're searching for where in the array the value is. So you'll see here with my method title, sequential search, you can send it in an array of integers, send it a value you're looking for, I've just called it x, and then I return an integer. And that integer I would return would be 8. Now let's say you went to do this search, but instead of searching for 30, you search for 99. A standard case here is you would start at 0, start searching down the array, and you're going down, and the problem is you never find it, and you hit the end of the array. Well, if you hit the end and you don't find it, a very standard thing to send back here is for the integer, you can't send it back in index position, so we send it back -1. -1 is that way of saying, I didn't find it. We know -1 isn't a valid position inside the array, so most search methods you'll do will send back -1 when you can't find it, and that way it's nice and standard across most programmers' methods and languages that -1 means not found. Now, how good, how bad is sequential search? Well, our little list here has 16 values in it. The worst case scenario is I have to go through all 16. So you can see here, the worst case is 16. The best case, maybe I'm looking for the number 38. And I'm going to find it right away, right off the top. So the best case is basically I searched, basically nothing really, but I searched 1. Average, let's just say that averages to 8, right? 1 plus 16 divided by 2. Forget about the little decimal, gives us 8 there. So you can see here with a size of 16, on average, you're going to have to go through maybe half the list. Sometimes worse, sometimes a little better. Now, this may not seem too bad for a short list like this. Pretty well any computer out there can do short little lists of a couple hundred values, and sequential search is just fine. But imagine you start to get a list that instead of having 16 values, imagine you have a list that ends up having, a billion values. Well, if you have a billion values in there, you're going to probably have to go on average through 500 million questions. Is this my number? Is this my number? Is this my number? So it's not the best way to search for data, especially if you're going to be searching an array frequently. There's better ways to do it, which will be in the next video where we look at one called binary search, which is a great one that's very widely used in a lot of areas of searching, like databases. Now, what do you have to know how to do with sequential search? This is one you've already coded before, so without peeking at the code here, you should be able to code in sequential search. No problem. Give it a go. There's going to be a sample project provided for you that you can work with, which is right here. And you can see that in this class called Searching Examples, I'm just using a little class called SortMaster. I have an array that's all random, unsorted. I'm going to say, let's look for the number 50. And I'm going to say, hey, SortMaster, sequential search, the nums array for that value 50. If whatever comes back is bigger or equal to 0, found it at position. Otherwise, I know -1 came back, not in the array. What you can do is you can go code sort master and go code sequential search. So there you go. Fill that space, code sequential search up. And then when we come back, we're going to look at binary search and give you that as a coding challenge. Thanks for watching.